My name is McDonagh from Aspire HR. I am a HR consultant working with predominantly SME organisations, and my role is really to support them in delivering their HR strategies and enhancing their businesses. And I've been consulting for about 7 years now. The project that I was engaged with my client was essentially an organisational design project, and we were looking at, in particular, 2 leadership roles within the organisation. We wanted to examine exactly what those roles delivered to the organisation now and also in the future, and make sure that we had the correct people sitting within those positions. When I reflected on what tools I might find to deliver upon this need that I had identified, I recalled a presentation I had been at about 12 months earlier through the North Kildare Chamber, where they had brought in a guest speaker to talk to us about the TTI tools, and they had very clearly demonstrated how they had added great value to their business and helped them to deliver on their objectives. So I got in touch with Porkberry and met with him and discussed, the situation that I had and the project I had, and he very clearly outlined how the role benchmarking process could help me to achieve what I needed to achieve.
When I met Michelle first and she explained the problem to me, it was clear that what she required was our benchmarking tool. One of the challenges that recruiters are faced with is removing bias and prejudice from the interview process, but equally understanding what the job is that they're really interviewing for. Quite often I would see a recruiter and they will have their hands joined like this, looking across the table at a candidate. And I'm quite convinced they're praying. They're saying, oh Lord, that this one be right. Because in truth, they don't often know what the job is they're recruiting for, not really, not in a way that they can measure and compare a candidate to it. TTI's benchmarking process is all about bringing science to the recruitment process. So, for example, let me tell you how it works. The benchmarking process is very, very simple. First, you get together a group of subject matter experts, 3 to 5 people. And with those people, you agree what are the key accountabilities for the role, why does the role actually exist, what's its purpose, what is critical success factors, and so on. Once you've identified what those are, it's very, very easy to then go online and under the headings of behaviours, driving forces, acumen, competence, and so on, benchmark the role. When that benchmark is complete, you can then compare candidates to the role, you can compare candidates to each other, you can produce interview questions, you can produce gap reports, out of which you can produce development plans, and so on and so forth. Very, very powerful process.
When we engaged with the process and we decided to use the role benchmarking tool, the fact that it stopped us in our tracks from rushing ahead and implementing a recruitment process in the same way you normally would, it forced us to step back and look at the role profile that we had created and re-examine it and make sure that we were really considering it from a number of different perspectives. So the subject matter expert group that we put together meant that we had people involved in a collaborative process from various different positions in the organisation, which enhanced the quality of the overall job profile that was created. And ultimately it also helped to achieve that objective analysis that I set out to do in the first place. So ultimately, when we had completed the role benchmarking process, we had our ideal candidate profile identified. When we interviewed people and we shortlisted and we got to the final stages, we were able to get those candidates to complete the benchmark, and we could very clearly see how they fit against the profile that we had created. And ultimately it led to the recruitment of somebody who, okay, it's early days, they've only been in the position a few months, but ultimately they are performing very well. And what I've noticed is that the individual themselves seems particularly happy in the role, as do the organisation with how they're performing. So there's a mutual fit there, it seems to be, which is obviously the ultimate objective of that process. I think the TTI tools have helped me to offer a new solution to clients. It complements what I bring to the table in terms of HR experience and knowledge, and it also allows me to bring a tool that validates that and gives better insights as well. So it's not just my opinion is, the tools also validate that.